Good afternoon. My name is Lois Dubé. I am the Chief Negotiator for SPALC. I'm fine. Missing is Arlise Williams.
That's fine. Okay, go ahead.
Missing is Missing is Arlise Williams, Jacqueline Lineberger, and Deborah Evans. I have no time constraints, no elephants, and expectations is to make progress.
Hello, my name is Roger Goulson. I'm doing great. I'm SPALC Vice President. Missing has been noted, no time constraints, no elephants, expectations, make progress.
Good afternoon, my name is Patrice Coates. I'm doing awesome. Missing has been noted. My time constraint is at 5:30. No elephants, and add to make progress.
Good evening, my name is Victoria Davis. I'm doing well. Missing has been noted, no time constraint, no elephant, and expectation is go along with the group.
Make progress, okay. Go along.
Good afternoon, my name is Chris Cox. I'm doing well. I'm an electrician. District, missing's been noted. I have no time constraints, no elephants, and my expectation is to make progress.
Hi, my name's Laura Rosen, bookkeeper for Island Coast High School. No elephants, I'm doing well, and here to make progress.
Good afternoon. Oh, my Lord. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert Dodig. I am loud, but I'm well. I want to welcome Alex Dorzansky to our team here tonight. He'll introduce himself shortly. A new member of our team. We do have 4 people missing. Teresa Bowen, Heather Leonard, Dr. Desmore, and Roger Lloyd. Have no time constraints, no elephants, and I would also like to make progress.
Elizabeth Brinkley, I'm doing well. Missing has been noted. No time constraints, no elephants, expectations to continue to make progress.
Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Kelfie. I'm doing well. Missing has been discussed. I have no time constraints, no elephants, and expectations are to make progress.
Good evening, I'm Fernando Vasquez. Those who are missing has been noted, no time constraints, no elephants in the room, and to make progress. I'm doing fine.
My name is Jason Kurtz, principal at Hampshire County Elementary School. I'm amazing. Missing has been noted. I have no time constraints. I have no elephants that I'm aware of, and my expectation is to, I guess I'm going to go with the group and make progress.
Okay, I should use that.
You were already working it before I said it. I felt pressured.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Robichaud. I'm the Director of Benefits and Wellness. I'm doing well. Missing is noted. No time constraints tonight. No elephants in the room, and I'll go with make progress.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Dorzansky, Principal Harns Marsh Middle School. I'm doing great. Missing has been noted. There are no time constraints for me, no elephants. Expectations are to make progress.
Barbara Cedino, I'm doing well, Director for Maintenance Services, no time constraints, no elephants, expectations the same as everyone, make progress. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Candy Messenger. I'm doing fine. I am the Director of Food and Nutrition Services. Missing has been noted, no time constraints, no elephants, and to make progress.
Cheryl Neely, Executive Director. I am wonderful. I have no time constraints, and I don't have any elephants. The missing are still the missing. And I'm going to go with the group with making progress, but I'm going to add be present.
Course McIntosh, Assistant School Board Attorney. I'm doing great. No time restraints. Sorry, I left my glasses. No elephants in the room. Expectations make progress.
Is Shannon considered other?
No, I know we keep putting Shannon's thing out, and I apologize for that. No, Shannon's,
I am thinking.
she's on tout, but not spelled.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am a friend and doing well. Don and I are both here, Mark's here, it's his birthday, but I don't have any time constraints or any elements. And my expectations are to help you make progress and be present.
And I'm Donna Mutzenard. I am doing well. No time constraints, no elephants, and my expectation is, as Amy said, to help you make progress this evening. With that, we have our agenda. The next thing on the agenda is to accept the minutes from your last meeting. So does anybody have any corrections or deletions to those minutes? I don't see any hands being raised, so can we accept the minutes as written? May I see thumbs, please? Thank you very much. Okay.
It's passed as written.
Next on the agenda is Article 7, work schedule. We have the snapshot up here on the wall. The story snippets were flexibility of shifts and maintenance due to size of the district, more clarification on what's doable and allowable. Is the shift change going to be temporary or permanent? Were employees surveyed? Maintenance employees do work other jobs. The interests were flexibility, safety, contractual compliance, student achievement, and data requested was a survey of employees. So, Rob?
Yeah, so this is one of the district's items that we chose to put on the table. The main focus of what we're talking about is the maintenance department and maintenance services. So Ms. Cedeno, along with some of her other senior staff, have discussed with us some possible ideas. And we're here to really tell story. I'm not certain we'll get to an option tonight, but
okay, fine.
We would like to, and I know these sounds like options, but one of the things that's important is the ability of maintenance services to do their work in schools. And it's often that due to what's happening in schools, they're not able to do that within the parameters of their normal workday. So there's some thought that potentially we could go to something of a split shift where we would have, and these are options, but employees work a normal 6 to 2, and then have folks come in a little bit later in the day and maybe work 10 to 6. We're not talking about a night shift necessarily, although that could potentially be an option. But with any shift after hours, we have supervision issues and those kinds of things. And also, custodial staff are cleaning schools at that time. So those are some of the ideas that we would like to talk about.
Okay.
And I don't know, and I'd have to defer to Barbara on this, exactly which trade she's talking about, versus others and things like that. But we're not talking weekends, we're talking Monday through Friday, possibly, and this is all in 7.01 of the contract, is where the workday is defined. So that would be language that we would discuss and bargain through if there's some acceptance of at least talking about this type of work. Like the snapshot says, I mean, the district is 100,000 students and 12,000 employees big now. And so there really should be some deviation in shifts for certain workers, is where we're coming from. So that's my introductory remarks.
Okay. Anybody else?
So,
The mic is going. Who had, Patrice, you had your hand up first?
yep, I sure did.
Okay,
I have a quick question for
sure. Yeah. Sedania.
Dana, I'm sorry. I guess I just wanted to get clarification. What is it during the day that is happening that the maintenance people can't do, their jobs? What, as far as, I know kids are there, I see maintenance on our campus all the time, but I guess I just want to get a better understanding of why that can't be happening during the day. Thank you.
Go ahead. Nope, not yet.
Okay, so two parts. I would also like to add, and in addition to what Mr. Jodic said, about maybe some other options as far as maybe doing 410s. I know it's already written in the contract. Some of the challenges are, for instance, during the daytime hour, we are performing our normal day-to-day work duties, but like in the case of preventive maintenance work, where we have to do work on chiller yards and coil cleanings and things like that, it may allow us to do, if we had maybe an extra 2 hours in that day, just to continue doing that project instead of having to break down equipment all over again and restart all over again, it will give us a little bit of extra time in order to be able to do those services for those facilities. That's one of my key areas that I'm looking at. Other areas could be related to HVAC, for instance, in the sense that because schools are still in session till 4 p.m., sometimes we're getting calls right after that 2 p.m. shift. And if we had just a little bit of extra bandwidth in that afternoon, that would also help us with maybe those service calls since schools are still in sessions. It does happen a lot with, a lot of times when we in plumbing department, sometimes our plumbing team, it's Friday afternoon and we get an emergency call after hours. And not to say that we don't do overtime, we do overtime, but it also gives us the flexibility that we also have some designated team members that may be there that could potentially, help with those calls. Hey, there's a flood at the campus, a pipe broke, something of the sort. So those are some of the things that we're experiencing. We are together collectively, we have a lot of work orders within our department. The volume is high because we've been handling hurricane work, day-to-day work, SRF work. There's a lot in our department. And we only have approximately about 134, but it's 134 including my management team, my office staff, and I know my team members are stretched thin, my technicians are. And there's a lot of demands from the school district because, there's a lot of buildings, a lot of repairs, a lot of equipment. So I'm hoping that maybe if we had a little bit of flexibility and understanding what a standard work week would be like, I think if we had a little bit of flexibility, maybe during different times of the seasons, or we can do something a little bit different just to help meet the demands of the schools and, HVAC, plumbing, whatever the case may be. And of course, as we discuss, obviously it has to be based on a seniority basis, of course, we will have to work through those items, but basically a lot is the volume of work orders that we have and opportunities to if we can't get in during the daytime because there's testing or whatever the case may be, then we have a little bit of cushion in the afternoons as well. That's pretty much the gist of it.
That take care of your question?
Yes.
Good, okay. Did you still have a question, or was yours the same as?
No.
No? Okay.
So being at a high school,
I just want to clarify something, I apologize. Barbara, I kind of caught the gist of it, but are you okay if I say, the line of the work order for instruction and student learning would help, is that okay to write it that way?
It's more on the volume of the work orders. Sometimes it overlaps with when we're there. It overlaps maybe with the school testing schedules or whatever else is happening within the campus.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
so to better understand your question, this is just your department, this is not through the schools? Okay, and then, so if you went to a 4-day week, 10-hour days, so that leaves Friday when everything always seems to go wrong.
No, it would be, we would look at it, we would want to discuss with the SPALC union of an option of maybe if we could do maybe Monday through Thursday or maybe a Tuesday through Friday, so we still have some coverage, within those days.
Yeah, because it seems like Mondays and Fridays are the,
Mondays are crazy.
yeah. So being in a high school, I see it all the time.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Questions? Chris?
I just wanted to make mention, again, I think it was mentioned last time as well, there are a lot of people that have second jobs and stuff that this may very well interfere with at this point. Secondly, I'd like to say something, at least in the electrical crew, we're on a skeleton crew now. I don't know how you split this at this point in time, but I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Okay, thank you. Who else? Okay, want to pass the mic to Rob, please?
So a couple of things, but kind of before we get over our skis a little bit. Barbara mentioned 410s. I didn't, so that's okay.
That could still be an option.
Well, potentially. And I will say this, having a 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift and a 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift is really a difference of 4 hours where there would be people working, which would extend really the ability for people to work on things to 12 hours, which is where I think the thought process is coming from. Regarding the skeleton crew that Chris mentioned, there is a potential this would help recruiting. I mean, some people getting up at 4:30 in the morning or 5 a.m. to be to work at 6 is just not ideal for them. I know in a lot of trades, that's the hours they work, but frankly, getting done at 2 p.m., there's still half a workday left, frankly. And we're not using that, is what I'm saying, as an employer. So the ability to use 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. for some folks that are not early risers to come in at 10 a.m. may help recruiting, actually. So I say may, because I'm not certain, but I think there's the potential for that. Also, Barbara mentioned seasonal. I mean, there may be the ability, if we were to agree to something, to just do this seasonally, whether that be during the summer or during busy times of year, because she did mention chiller services, HVAC, and plumbing as 3 of the main areas where this would be useful. Also, I want to point out in the contract, 7.011B does already contain language about split shifts. And it talks about the fact that we will bargain the impact of that. So split shifts in some fashion have already been agreed to by SPALC. It's just we'd have to impact bargain that if we want to implement it.
Okay, anybody else? Chris? Want to pass, who has the mic? Thank you.
One other thing I'd like to mention, not that I'm trying to be obstinate to what Rob is saying and whatnot, but you've got a situation down here, traffic and stuff is just brutal. And I mean, that adds to your day, especially if you're going out at 10 o'clock in the morning and coming back at 6 o'clock at night. You probably added an extra hour and a half, 2 hours to your day at that point. And when you're already kind of behind here, that's, in my opinion, that's going to hurt. That's not going to help.
Okay, Rod?
Yeah, so asking, this is kind of odd, but I'm just gonna ask you, Chris, so keep the mic, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but being a person that's in the trades that works there, how do you think, do you have any suggestions as to how we could do something so we're able to use the day, more of the day, to work on the projects the maintenance department has going on? And I'm not saying that because you're picking at the things we've already talked about, but you're there. Certainly 2 o'clock is 2 o'clock, and there's still a significant part of the day left that we're not using.
No, I understand where you guys are coming from. However, I tend to lean more towards the 10-hour days myself, thinking that might be a better, again, that you've alleviated a little bit of, mileage and gas, and at the same time you're there, you're already, in the jobs, you're already started, you're not having to pack it up and start all over again. But it sounds to me like you guys are looking to get a little more than that, a little more hours during the day. But I'm not quite sure how you achieve that and not have to deal with the traffic and whatnot. So that's.
And I appreciate your answer. I put you on the spot. I just.
You're there, so.
I know.
You're front and center.
Yeah. I know that it's difficult for Barbara to get all the work done, and we're trying to figure out ways to do that with your input. I mean, obviously, split shifts is in the contract. There's some suggestion, not some, there is. The fact that it's in there is we can already do it. We just have to bargain the impact of it. So, and we're trying to figure out what the best scheme to do that would be, the best strategy. 4 10-hour days, I'll just speak to that, is not, that would be a very difficult lift for us when it doesn't apply to other departments. So, and I won't speak for her because I can't, but at least will often say, I'm here to bargain for everybody in the unit. So, and I'm not sure, and I know Barbara said, what is that? You'd have to have a group of people, at least somebody working on a Friday, or whatever day they're off, Wednesdays, I don't know. But you can't just not have anybody available to deal with an emergency when a pipe breaks or something. So there is a need to always have somebody on call anyway. But I think the equitable nature of that, and I know our interests are up there, but
I can add equitable.
yeah, I think there has to be an equity part of this, because just like you, we're not just dealing with maintenance here. When we sit at the bargaining table, we're dealing with all of the folks that belong to SPALC.
Elizabeth.
We're not necessarily talking about split shifts, we're talking about split schedules. So different schedules, not splitting your shift like transportation.
Right. Yeah, that is a good clarification.
That's a great.
Yeah. But I don't know if the contract is what schedule language.
I'm going to say schedules or shifts.
Said shift.
Said shift.
Applies to transportation. Okay, so I'm going to just rewrite that again.
Maybe split shifts or transportation. And that will clarify it a little bit. Yes, Kevin.
So just throwing this out there, what about 4 to noon? If the traffic it's just a split shift? Yeah.
4 to noon, he said.
Anything.
It's an option, and I mean, I know you said you didn't want to put options up yet, but when we do options, that would certainly be acceptable. Anybody else? Chris?
Again, just, I don't want to speak for everybody here, but I think when they were talking the 10-hour days, I think they were talking, I think Barbara might be talking about staggering that, where, you know, you'd have the Monday through Friday and then the Friday through, there wouldn't be a lapse of coverage if that's what you were.
Like Monday through Thursday and Tuesday through Friday?
Yeah, he's right, and
Yeah.
forgive me, because Barbara gave me a document, I didn't have a long time to study it, but it does say one group would be Monday to Thursday and the other would be Tuesday to Friday. So you're right, Chris, yeah.
Okay. All right, anything else for the story? No? Barbara? The mic will be to you in a sec.
So maybe within the conversations that are held between both teams, there is language in the contract that talks about what a standard work week will look like. And basically it just references the Saturday 12 a.m. to Friday 12 p.m. midnight, but it doesn't really specify if it's consecutive days. So maybe if that's just maybe cleared up a little bit and what's doable. And that's the piece that I was also asking about. I'm sorry, and that was also section 7.02 of the contract.
7.02, so you want clarification on
Right, it says, right, it's
7.02, right?
Yes, it talks about the work week and it not consisting of more than 40 hours and when it starts and when it ends. So just maybe clarification when the discussions are held as to what that really means.
Kind of clean it up.
Thank you.
Kevin?
I believe the intention for that language is when does the work week start for hours accumulation for overtime.
Okay.
So we currently start on Saturday and go to Friday.
Okay.
But to Barbara's point, couldn't help.
Right. Putting a little more clarification into it wouldn't hurt anything. Rob, did you?
Yeah, just some history here. SPALC bargained this with us years ago because it was less clear then, so you can imagine.
Oh my.
So this has probably been here a decade at least at this point. And I'm not sure how to clarify it any further. Just reading it, and I'm not sure how that helps Barbara. I know I'm bargaining with my own person.
I think for me, the clarification would be that if we did it for like a Monday through Thursday and Tuesday through Friday, is that permissible? You know, with this type of language that's written in here, like what are we allowed to do with this, just these hours that are listed here?
Okay. All right, anybody else? Are we ready to put up some options? Rob?
Yeah, I'm not, and I appreciate the questions and the conversation, but I'm not real clear where SPALC stands. So, and in an interest-based type of setting, I don't know. I'm curious. Because we could start listing options, but the next step obviously is to decide whether to test any of them.
Right.
And I'm just concerned that we haven't heard.
Other than the question.
Yeah, other than the question
Comments.
and Chris's comments, which, you know,
Right.
it appeared to me that Chris is a 4-day, 10-hour day, 4 10-hour days is something that there may be an interest in.
Okay, Rod?
I agree. I think we definitely gotta go deeper into discussion on how we should go about doing it. And I understand with the language, we definitely have to clear some of that up to, if we're gonna make this an option.
Okay, so it sounds like we need options first before we can delve deeper into it.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll put some up there.
Okay.
First option would be a Monday through Friday work week. And the hours would be 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. That would be Schedule 1. And Schedule 2 would be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yes.
Yeah.
And with that option is, this would be all year.
Okay.
The second option is the same, except it would only be used during critical times of the year. And we'd have to define that, obviously. Yeah, so then, I don't know what number we're on, but 3 would be, Schedule 1 would be Monday to Thursday, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Schedule 2 would be Tuesday through Friday, 6 a.m. What, till what? What did I say?
4 p.m.
4 p.m., yeah, 10 hours.
Yeah.
And then same as the previous options, which is, first option is all year. Second would be during critical times.
So option 4 would be critical time for that schedule.
Correct.
Right.
That's all I have right now.
Okay. Anybody else have an option? Okay, up, Fernando.
I just have a question. Does it have to be the second shift 10 to 6, or can it go later, or are we limited to 6 p.m.?
You could put different hours up there if you wanted to. Yeah, that would not be good.
I mean, you could theoretically just put 10 hours per day.
Yeah.
But I thought it was worthwhile to illustrate the hours. I mean,
I think so.
but
10 hours per day?
No, I was just inquiring if there was a reason why we had to stop at 6.
Right.
That's it. It would not be 12 to 8, but depending on the schedule, the work can still be done. There's no one on campus.
Right, except custodians.
yeah, and certainly with SPALC's input, I mean, if there was discussion that was needed to talk about adjusting those hours, we're amenable to that. I think 6 to 2 is the common shift now, so that's why we used those hours.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, clarifications, or any other options they want to add? Remember, our interests are flexibility, safety, contractual compliance, student achievement, and it should be equitable. Does SPALC need a caucus to talk about this? Or is somebody ready to pick an option? Lois?
We're gonna caucus.
Okay, time? Do you have a time frame for the caucus?
10 minutes.
Okay,
We're gonna caucus also.
Okay.
But we're gonna leave this room to do so.
Okay, now that everybody's back. Yeah, that is here. All right, we can start with that one. All right, SPALC called the caucus, so if you can give us your report out, please.
Yes, as a group, we decided that we need more time. We need to survey folks in maintenance. And we also have a clarifying question to go with that as well.
Okay, let Bob do his caucus report, and then we'll let you ask him the clarifying question.
Yeah, so we talked about our scenarios. I'd like to amend our options or just make it clear that the hours are an example. In other words, they would be 10-hour days.
So if I put hours, i.e.
Yes, and days. I mean, it could be other days of the week too.
Okay.
Yeah.
She only had hours up here, so.
Okay. All right.
And then, okay, we could do the Monday through Thursday, Tuesday through Friday.
Right. And be happy to answer whatever question Lois has, and we understand the need to check with your folks.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a question for you, Rob, or for Barbara, but you mentioned the 3 jobs, the chiller, the HVAC, and the plumbing. Are we only looking at those 3, or are we looking at split shifts for all of maintenance?
First of all, and I think the terminology is important here, and I apologize for using the phrase split shifts. We're really talking about split schedules.
Right.
And the answer to the first question is it wouldn't apply to just those 3 trades. I mean, those are 3 examples that Barbara used, not because those are the only 3 that she would endeavor to try to work the split schedules.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
So all of maintenance, that's just.
Possibly.
Yeah, exactly. Donna said possibly. The answer, that's my answer, possibly.
Anything else? Chris, did you? Oh, okay.
Sorry. So you're talking about maintenance. Is that anybody else with SPALC on split schedules?
Wouldn't get rid of it.
No.
No, just maintenance. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Chris, did you have something? Oh, Kevin.
So this is just more of a story. It doesn't necessarily apply, but just a situation I'm in. So we have to be there for all of the schools. And the schools have different start and end times. So I have to stagger a workforce around that. So at any time, someone could call and we can be accommodating. So I have a lot of people come in the morning, midday, and then towards the afternoon. So I can always have someone there to answer the call. It would be interesting to call past 2 and not be able to reach someone. So I'm just explaining a situation.
Okay. But this wouldn't be the only department with this split schedule type thing. Right. Chris, now?
Sure. Excuse me. There was another couple of things that were mentioned. You know, one is that even for your scheduling, this traffic is tough. I mean, you get caught at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 3:30 in the afternoon, and it'll be up to the district to pay the overtime when this happens. So I mean, I don't know if they're taking that into consideration as well. And there was also some talk about, you get into the winter hours and stuff, you've got some daylight issues and things of that nature too. So I just thought I'd put it out there.
Okay, Rob?
And I think those things are well taken and understood, and I do think we have to take those things into consideration, but I also think that's the beauty of some possible flexibility. And I know that's what Ms. Cedeno talked about from the beginning. So we're glad you're listening. We know we have a partner in you all to hopefully get somewhere where we can, and it maybe is baby steps. Maybe we do something initially as a pilot or something to that effect, but I appreciate your indulgence on this issue.
Okay. Anything else? I know we don't want to go any further with options tonight, that SPALC would like to do a survey, and you're okay with that, right? That they survey maintenance?
Oh yeah, we have no objections.
Okay. So, we have nothing else on the agenda for tonight. Is there something you would like to add to the agenda tonight? Rob?
The only other thing really to discuss would be compensation, and I just want to, first of all, Dr. Desmores isn't here, but the legislative session ended on Friday. We have the data regarding the FEFP and other sources of income, if you will, for the district. And we tentatively are going to have an executive session with the school board regarding collective bargaining on March the 25th, the day we come back from spring break.
Okay.
So the next time we bargain with SPALC, we hope to have financial information so we can bargain compensation.
Okay. And the next SPALC date is April?
April 2nd, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Chris?
I'm sorry, were you referring to that wage study? Is that going to be part of that as well?
Oh, the wage study, yes. Rob?
Yes, so that will be part of that conversation, hopefully, yes. We're hopefully going to get information from them, from Evergreen, before the end of March. Yes, thank you for asking.
Okay. Anything else? Ready to close up tonight then?
Yeah, and I'm glad everyone came in. I know it's only been a little over an hour, but I think we did get some worthwhile work done, and hopefully a few more sessions and we'll be on our way.
Yes, go ahead. All right.
I wasn't here last meeting, I was sick, but Evergreen, am I allowed to say,
Yeah.
what would it be, a story? I was part of one of the surveyors, sitting in the surveys, and when I asked and someone else asked in another one that I spoke with, they said it was going to be a year. It wouldn't be done that quickly. So I'm a little shocked that it's already, and that was from them.
Rob?
Yeah, I think that may be an accurate statement from them, which was several months ago when you met with them. And that's for their full report. They are going to be releasing job-specific market data to us this month. So their full report, which includes administration, teacher positions, and is probably going to take that role. But we asked them to do SPALC first. That's why you were the first group consulted and interviewed, because they know we need the data before, some data before the end of March, and then moving forward. So I don't think they lied to you. I think they're talking about their complete report.
Okay. Any other questions? With that, those of you who have spring break next week, enjoy. Get some rest, relaxation, spend time with family and friends, and we'll see you back here April 2nd. I'm sorry to you, those of you who aren't.
Thank you for your support.